1, 2, barely up. Good evening. I am RJ City, and this is RJ Reads Wrestling Books. He thinks he's cute. He knows he's sexy. He's got the books that drives the girls wild. I am, of course, talking about Heartbreak and Triumph, the Shawn Michaels story by, naturally, Shawn Michaels and Aaron Fagenbaum. And there's the front here. He's on a ladder. He's struggling. He's reaching for his goal, which is really the purpose of life. And there's the back, where he seems to be having a nap. The passage I'll be reading from tonight involves a Wrestlemania match and him struggling with figuring out the cadence of a kick-out. So we begin. I always want to do something special at Wrestlemania, and this year I decided to do a moonsault off the top rope for the first time in my career. I had done plenty of backflips, but I had never moonsaulted from the top onto my opponent on the floor. Before the match, Kevin and I were talking, and I brought it up. "What do you mean?" he asked. "Onto the floor?" "Yeah." "Are you going to do it tonight?" "I don't know." "I'd sort of like to know. I'm going to have to catch you. Whatever I have to do, I'll get my body in the way. You're so big, if you can just break my fall. I usually do the crossbody with you. Are you going to do that?" "No. I'd like to try the moonsault. I've never done it. If I get up on the ropes, I'm doing it. I can't chicken out in front of the people. I'll be there." He was, and it worked out fine. Unfortunately, not everything worked out as well as the moonsault. Vince was hooking his wagon to Kevin. He thought that the more powerful Kevin looked, the more people would be attracted to him. We were going over the match, and when we came to the point where I was going to kick Kevin with my super kick and attempt to cover him, Vince said, "I want a strong kick out." Kevin didn't like it. "That's Shawn's finish," he said. "I've got to barely come out of that." "I want you to be strong." "That's not going to make me look strong. That's Shawn's move. The people are not going to like that. They are going to think that you are pushing me too hard." The fans knew that my super kick was a strong move, that it should hurt everyone, even Kevin. Within the context of the match, they would expect the kick to hurt him. If Kevin popped up after a count of 1, we would destroy the fans' suspension of disbelief and ruin their experience. They would be taken out of the moment and feel cheated. They'd be angry and boo, mostly at Kevin. I might even garner some sympathy because they'd think that I was getting the shaft. It made more sense to have Kevin struggle out. Fans always like the baby faces who struggle. It gives them someone to get behind. "Vince," I pointed out, "you want the fans to get behind him. He's my buddy, and I want the fans to get behind him. It needs to be a 1, 2, barely up. That will get him over. If he powers out on 1, they are not going to like it." We had seen it the year before. Vince tried to force Lex Luger down the people's throats, and it did not work. You can't say, "I'm pushing this guy and I don't care." The people have to want to buy into the person. They have to see something in him that they can identify with. We understood that Vince was looking for the next big thing, but we knew we couldn't force it. Vince has that "I can do anything" attitude, which is why he has been so successful. We told him that we thought the people weren't going to like it, but Vince wanted it, so that was what we did. When the time came from the kick, I hit Kevin with it, and he popped up at 1. The boos came raining down. "I knew it," Kevin grumbled. I quickly called for a belly-to-back suplex. I crawled over to him and said, "Barely kick out." We got a 2 count, and just as he got his shoulder up, the crowd, wanting to get back into it, screamed, "Ah!" I think we got them back, I told him, and we finished the match without further incident. When we came backstage, we went to Vince shaking our heads. "Yep, bad call. he admitted frankly. The next day, we had a television taping in Poughkeepsie. When I arrived in the building, Vince told me he wanted to talk. Shawn, we are going to switch you to babyface. What? It's because of the kick-out, isn't it? It was a bad call on my part. I admit it. Why is it affecting me? I'm the only heel that you have. They like you. The people like you, Shawn. They like me, but they like to hate me. Now it's not the time. You made the mistake and it cost me my career. I was not happy. We're going to have Sid drop you, injure you tonight, and you'll go home for 6 weeks. I was so frustrated, so bummed. We had told him that the people were going to boo. Vince, I said, I would never tell you how to run your entire business, but please leave the wrestling to me. Then I went to Kevin and told him what was happening. They're taking me off for 6 weeks. Well, what for? They are turning me babyface. It's because of the kick-out, isn't it? What could we do? Sid turned on me that night. He attacked me from behind and power-bombed me 3 times before Kevin rushed to the ring and chased him off. I was now injured and off on a 6-week paid vacation. But don't take my word for it.
Guests of the RJ City Show, subscribe to his channel, follow him on social media, and buy his t-shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com/RJ City.